Hello, hello. I apologize. We had some technical difficulties. We are now back. Hello. Gotta love technology. How are you guys doing tonight?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Cold.
Yeah.
Feel betrayed.
You feel betrayed.
No, we had a couple days where it was super nice, and
Yep.
then bam, things it's so cold
Just
things
kidding.
break.
It's still winter. That's what
Yeah,
it felt like. Yeah.
schizo
We
winter.
were you wearing shorts when it was nice out? Were
Come
you
on
those
now.
I don't know if you were that person.
Come on.
No?
Nope.
Kiki, were you wearing shorts when it was nice out?
Never. Never,
Why
never,
not?
never.
Why not?
Nah, man, this weather's been ridiculous.
So what happened is that someone cheated on the weather and she found out. So she's
Mother Nature's not happy right now.
not happy. Not
No.
happy.
No, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, neither do I. So, anything new? Anything going on?
Anyone else seeing that?
Yeah, I'm saying that. That was just me.
That is so weird. Okay, there we go. Alrighty.
Anything new happening with you guys?
No, not a
No?
whole lot going on when you're living in a COVID world. It's just work
yeah.
and home and work and home and the grocery store, and I'm gonna be hopefully going back to the gym here pretty shortly, hopefully. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, we started what's new? We had band practice last week. I guess that's something added to my routine, I guess. My very short routine, it seems like. But yeah.
Yeah.
Been busy though, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, not a whole I guess
Not
I
a
should
whole
say
lot.
not a whole lot of fun stuff to get up to. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So
Well, I know Tim had fun a couple weeks ago.
What did I
Couple
do?
weeks? Was it a couple weeks? Last week? I don't even know what day it is anymore.
Oh yeah. That
Did you celebrate the
was
birthday?
Yeah.
Happy belated birthday,
I didn't get no
Tim.
invite, so
I know, right?
but I did send him
Whatever.
well wishes. So
I didn't
hopefully
do it. I
whatever he
didn't
did
do
get up
anything like
to,
that though.
it was fun.
I didn't do anything like that. I had on my actual birthday I had a show, and then the next night I had another show. So
You have after show party vibes?
yeah, nothing big. It was just it
We
was
just
nothing nothing to invite. Just
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that we're get an Airbnb and just celebrate everyone's birthday at once. Is what I'm hearing.
That sounds all right.
I ain't sharing my birthday with nobody.
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay. On that note, hello, good evening.
When's your birthday? Is your birthday March?
You know what?
End of March.
You know what? I was kind of kidding, but kind of wasn't. The only reason why I said that is because I haven't been able to do anything at all for the last 2 years for my birthday. I know I'm not the only person.
Honestly, I don't even business about that. You have a March birthday. I have a January birthday. Things are dead, completely dead. Like my birthday was actually
COVID started the week before my birthday 2 years ago.
When's your birthday? The 24th?
I haven't done anything since. It's the 22nd.
Okay, my bad. Now the big lockdown happened after that, so you were fine. The lockdown happened the Monday after, because I remember it was probably maybe like the 27th or 28th.
Yeah,
big
but like
lockdown
they
started.
started canceling events like the week before
The
my
week
birthday.
of, yeah.
There was like events and stuff that started like closing. Stores slowly started closing, but
We were making plans for your birthday. I remember that. I was pissed. Pissed.
that's okay. We'll figure.
Well, guess what? I don't need COVID to have a dry birthday. So you know what I'm saying. So
I get what you're saying. I hear you.
So we need, and this is only in regards to sharing birthdays. Means you know what I mean. Like I'm feeling like I'm gonna start.
I'm trying to
like
think.
I'm gonna start like July 7th. July 7th is my summer birthday. That's what
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
start doing.
Danny's honestly been the lucky one out of all of this. Like the
I'm
past
telling
2
you,
years.
October is the best month. I keep telling people this, and no one
Okay.
believes me.
I don't know
Why?
about that.
Why though?
But
I've been able to celebrate all my
birthdays since COVID started.
That's true. You know.
Like cases were low. You could go out and do things.
But I'm saying
You're able to
October
get
is the
together.
best.
Like
October is
it's
the
lit.
best month, and no one listens.
Man.
No one listens. I've been telling you guys.
Birthdays in the summer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna get an Airbnb.
Right now, things
celebrate
ain't
everyone's
looking
birthday.
too good
Yeah.
for the March babies, but we'll see.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. Okie dokes. Well, anyways.
So on that note, on that note, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Let's Be Real YEG. I am your host, Danielle George, along with your co-host at the top, Mr. Noel. At the bottom,
That's
Miss
more like
Kiki.
As
That's how I should get introduced.
Booyaka,
Sound effects.
Okay, we'll work on that.
We'll work on that.
Walk into a store. Where are the sound effects?
Oh my gosh. He walks into the room. Where are the sound effects?
I'm not walking. I'm not coming back in unless there's a sound effect. Anyway.
Like I'm gonna try this one more again.
On this show, we normally talk about the arts, small businesses, relationships, which seems to be the popular topic on this show. Current events and issues that happen in the Caribbean and African community. Throughout the show, we want you, the viewers, to ask questions, comments. You know the show's about you, about us. Let's get it ready to be real. So, I don't know if you guys heard or saw the news conference that Mr. Trudeau had on January 5th. No?
I think I saw an article about it, but I didn't physically see it.
He pretty much said there's enough vaccines to give a 4th and 5th shot if needed. So these shots will be given if needed. I thought that these vaccines had expiry dates. No? 4th and 5th shot. Did they not have expiry dates? So this kind of will be given.
I know when they had the first vaccine rollout, in certain places, they were like, oh, we want to make sure we get what was it? I think 80% of the population vaccinated. I know that's the percentage a lot of places were trying to reach. And at some point, some people or some countries were worried that they wouldn't reach that percentage before vaccines expired. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm not too sure what expiry dates are looking like for these vaccines these days.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Say what? What did you just say, Kiki?
No, I said I'm not too sure what expiry dates are looking like for these vaccines. You don't really hear that part of the.
No, we don't really hear about anymore. But
you heard of it.
Most medication have fairly long.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless they were using that as a tactic.
That's what I'm saying.
Saying that the vaccines were about to expire, because you did hear that when they first rolled out vaccines, some months have passed, and it's hey, we need to get people vaccinated, before vaccines expire. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So knowing that we got, well, some people got 3 shots within less than a year.
Mm-hmm.
Would you get the 4th one if they said that you need the 4th shot? Within less than a year?
No. Probably not.
I'm in that same boat.
I haven't gotten my booster yet.
Same here.
I'm likely gonna get boosted.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying I won't get boosted, but she's talking 4th and 5th booster in like we're talking like a
Less
year,
than a year.
to year and a half's time. Like
Yeah.
I understand, like some people got their vaccines, like they did our rollout a bit differently because they did it by like age, and then when they realized cases were going up, they kind of sped things up a bit. But like there's some people who got their vaccination almost a year ago, so I can understand, you know, if they want to get their 3rd booster, or if, you know, 6 months from now they want to get their 4th one. I got my 2nd one like midsummer, beginning of summer, so I'm kind of just over that 6 month
booster. The 5.
Yeah,
no, it was 6. Now it's
Is
5.
there?
Yeah, but it keeps changing, and that's just it. Like at first, it was like, "Oh, get your 3rd booster in 6 months." So I'm just over.
Is that what
now.
It is? Is it 6 months?
No,
yeah,
it was 6. Then it went down to 5.
It keeps changing,
and then pretty soon it's gonna go down to 4.
Right. So what I'm saying is, I plan on getting.
So it's like what? You just skeptical for skepticism's sake?
No, I never said that.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying Danny.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like, nothing is solid. Everything is changing. Literally every week.
But here's the thing, though.
And it's just,
like, I'm as critical as anybody else. Mm-hmm. But like at the same time, you have to remember the people that are making the decisions and the people who are even coming up with the science. They're as far as I'm concerned, as far as I see. Right. They're reacting to this just like us.
Right.
Now, this is the problem with that is when now they start mandating procedures when they're not, like when things change. That's the thing for me. Like, it's when you're mandating it, but like last week you didn't know your head from your ass. Right. So that's the problem for me. But for them to like just be like changing like it's reported this and it's reported that, and it's like, it was before it was like you only can do these types of masks, and now it's this and that. Like, there's a humanity involved in this, even with the people that make the decisions.
Definitely.
Because I see a lot of like, I believe in critical thought, but it's so easy to criticize. Like, it's so easy to poke a hole. It's like, it's so easy. Just ask a question that nobody around knows an answer to, and then, but we don't necessarily throw it all out. Like, this is kind of where we're at. Like, it's frustrating, but it's kind of where we're at. Like, I didn't even want.
At this point in time is an understatement, but yes.
Yes.
But I totally get
it goes to show. But it's like there's most of us are still carrying on with our daily lives, just like, you know what I mean? What we're really missing out on aren't essentials. We still have food, but we're just used to so much more, right? We're getting a taste of what it might be like to be somewhere with less privilege. Right. Somewhere where the government tells you what to do and you got to just do it. We might get fined, or we might not be able to, we may not have the same jobs as we used to have based on the decisions we want to make, but it's not like we're going to die, like if we were in other countries and things like that. But it gives us a taste of like, man, there's some people that are bigger than us that make decisions.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Good night, June. Thank you.
All I'm saying is 4th, 5th booster. The thing is, the boosters are going to change as the virus changes, right? Because as this thing mutates, they're going to have to tweak the vaccines to combat whatever new mutations come about, and the stronger the virus gets, or whatever properties they need to combat at the time when that shows up. But yeah, 4th and 5th boosters.
So here's a question for you.
I'm not saying I wouldn't take the booster. I'm just not ready for my 4th and 5th.
Now, is a booster different? Like the makeup of that shot of that medication, is it different?
That's a very
or is it just more?
That's a very good question.
So
to be honest,
what I was told, it's literally just half of the vaccine, of the full dose of the vaccine, is what I was told. You're just getting so you're getting 1.5 of the booster.
And you know what? And this is likely because these aren't live vaccines. You know, at the beginning when they were really convincing us, they're like, hey, this thing comes in, does its job, and leaves. This literally could be why. And they even
we got someone over on Twitch saying greetings. Tanya said, I ain't boosting a damn thing but a battery in the coal. And she also confirmed that it's half the regular dose.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hello, Sweet Bee. Welcome, welcome.
Oh, man.
It's just funny, man. Like, see, my medication for my eczema, I'm supposed to take it every 2 weeks. It's an injection. It's very similar. It's very similar to just the science of it is very close to like how a vaccine works. It doesn't come in and change stuff. It comes in, it masks stuff, and then it wears out over time. You know, sometimes I try and push it, and then I could just tell some of my eczema symptoms come back. And they're like, oh snap, I pushed it, or I forgot, or whatever.
Sorry, Tim.
And I'm wondering, is this gonna be our reality?
Yeah, is this the new reality?
Because it's a reality for me. I took an injection last night. You know, it just go in my fridge, grab something, wait for it.
To be honest, I haven't really thought of it like that, because there are so many people, you know, who have to take certain medications regularly, who have to get a shot every month or every few months or every 6 months. So I guess in some cases it would just kind of be like that. So, but I never really did think about it like that until you gave your example with your eczema, that there are people who do get certain medications, you know, often. But
sorry, Sweet Bee, if you're still on, I can't remember if you're in the States or in Canada. If you're in the States, can you let us know what's going on where you are? If you're still on. Go on. Sorry.
Oh, and Greg said, one of the real questions is why won't Big Pharma provide shots to, say, third world countries? It's like they want this thing to keep mutating. They refuse to release the patents so the vaccine can be mass produced and distributed. And Tanya said, flu vaccine changes each year. It's weird they just want to give more of the thing that they know wouldn't work anymore as it mutates.
Good points.
That is a good point.
To Greg, I just say, it's still money business.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. There's always politics involved. As for Tanya with the flu vaccine, I think the difference with the flu vaccines versus like the COVID vaccine is that this particular virus is far more transmissible, and it mutates way faster than the flu does.
Right.
So I think
is
that's
the flu still around?
Listen.
The flu is around, but I understand why you asked that. But yeah, I think that's what the difference is. Also, this is like a well, the flu is technically.
The flu is kind of respiratory.
Yeah, it is. But that is the difference, is how quickly the coronavirus like mutates and is mutating in our society. So Whereas, Greg, COVID is the new flu.
Literally.
I've heard that comment lots.
Literally.
Instead of watching deadly stuff,
Hello, DJ Tempo.
What up?
I know you're in the States. So, DJ Tempo, how is COVID vaccines being dealt with where you are? And let us know where you're watching us from, so everyone will know.
Have you?
But yeah,
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I do believe COVID is a new flu. Honestly.
I was gonna say, to be honest, now that I'm thinking, and you guys let me know if you've heard differently. In some other places, I haven't really seen a huge push for people to get like the third shot or the third booster.
Yeah,
Not as much as I've heard like here in Canada, now that I think about it. Like I'm sure people are saying, because I guess too, in certain places, there's some people who still haven't even gotten vaccinated to begin with, or who haven't gotten their second shot to begin with. But I haven't heard of a lot of places pushing for the third vaccine. So if you guys have heard of other places in the world who are pushing for the third COVID vaccine, let me know where. I'm curious.
Literally any country that has universal health care.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And I'm not doubting that. It's just I haven't been seeing it or hearing about it as much as here in Canada, which obviously we live here. But yeah.
Like New Zealand.
But in England, they're living life like COVID doesn't exist. Like there's no mask, there's no like mandates. They're living life like normal.
They always go back and forth though. The thing is, I feel like out in Europe, they're always kind of like a few steps ahead of us. Like for whatever reason, they get their waves before it reaches here in North America. So yeah, usually when they're on the tail end of things, we usually seem to be in the thick of it with these waves. At least that's what it seems like. Yeah. DJ Tempo said, I'm in New Jersey, and they just said today that is now mandatory for state workers to have their third shot. So there we go. There we go. There we go. I'm sure that's going to happen in the healthcare system here too. Anyone who's like a healthcare worker, and other companies will probably implement that as well. So
now that
lately I've been seeing people like double vax people getting like for real sick with it.
So have I.
Yeah.
You know, I've been seeing that. And so
and I've heard of people who have like the third booster and they're still catching COVID. And there are some people, it's like they have the third booster, like you have two people and like one person's fine and then the other person is just sick like a dog. So you just don't know what end of the spectrum you're going to fall on, which is the scary part.
There's a member recently where I work. She got the booster and literally 2 days later her eardrum ruptured.
Her what ruptured?
Her eardrum.
Eardrum?
So she's completely deaf in her left ear.
You're thinking that has something to do with the booster?
That's what she thinks.
I feel like that's a coincidence.
She was fine. That's the thing, that she was fine. She got COVID just before the booster, and then the doctor recommended her to get the booster, and then 2 days later her ear ruptured. So I don't know.
Did she get the booster? Do you know how long after she had COVID she got the booster?
I think COVID last month.
Okay, because they've been
saying just over Christmas. Yeah,
they've been advising people not to get the booster. Like if you caught COVID today, like they're saying don't get the booster for a month after you had COVID.
Yeah, I think that happened before.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah,
it is messed up. And I'm not a doctor, but do you think maybe she had issues with her ear beforehand that she just wasn't aware of? Or like maybe there's something that happened in her day today that could have caused her eardrum to rupture. Like,
but she's a fitness instructor, so she's not like, I don't know.
Like I work in IT, and you get people saying, "Hey, it worked yesterday, and it just broke today." That's just what happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Happens
like,
sometimes.
Yeah.
Car started fine yesterday.
And the thing is, we'll never know. Like, would her eardrum have
That's the
ruptured
thing.
if
Well,
she
now,
didn't get
now
the booster shot?
here's the thing.
Because then-
If 10,000 people say my eardrum ruptured,
After the
Then
booster
it'd be a
shot.
thing. Yeah.
it's jacked up though. If 10 people say it's not a thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing for me.
Yeah. Nah, I get that.
Because
Yeah.
I had a bunch of stress around doing this, and my skin ended up breaking out after my second shot. I was convinced. I'm like, oh my god, my skin's been good for 2.5 years. I can't go back there. I can't go back.
Right.
Go to the doctor. He's like, yeah, this isn't your eczema. Oh,
Yeah. So knowing that there's a fourth and fifth shot out there, Pfizer just approved a pill that you can take
Right.
if you have mild or moderate symptoms. So it's to reduce the risk of hospitalization and death by 89%.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that, is that something you would buy and keep in your house just in case you caught COVID?
Kind of like Advil and Tylenol.
Exactly.
Are you supposed to purchase it, or is this something that they're gonna like give
It
out? to
seems
people?
like
oh, you're
it's
talking about the
something
new
you can
Pfizer
purchase.
drug?
Yeah.
I seen a hilarious meme today, and it was like people are basically asking, I want that the
The pill.
Pfizer like fix it drug, but won't
Yeah.
take the vaccine. The
the
Pfizer
thing is-
vaccine.
I don't know. Well, I guess they'll have to be careful about how they administer the pill or the Pfizer pill or whatever. Because I feel like
Mhm.
people will abuse it, you know.
Oh, of course.
Like, what does this say here? It says it's only for people like adults with mild or moderate symptoms who are at high risk of becoming seriously ill. So I'm guessing that's individuals who have like underlying health conditions.
Mhm.
But I feel like regular Joes who are fairly healthy, you know, if they were given these pills and it's like, oh, like, are people going to be like, oh my God, I have a sore throat. Let me pop this
Yeah.
Pfizer pill. Like, you know, I feel like that's what would happen if it's administered too quickly, or, you know, if it gets into the wrong hands, or, you know, let's say they did give it out to most adults, and then like, is it approved for kids? It's not approved for kids, is it?
No, just for adults right now.
Okay. But yeah, like, what if your kid like pops a Pfizer pill thinking it's Advil? Like, they go to your teenager goes and, oh man, I got a headache, and they pop a Pfizer pill. Like that, what happens? Like, I just feel like this
Yeah.
start a whole other. Oh
Have you
man,
seen-
Have you seen the alternative meds that Greg mentioned in his comment there?
what is this?
I haven't seen it, but I heard if you smoke a lot of weed,
I have
You
seen
can-
that.
you can combat COVID.
Okay, I saw specifically CBD.
Yeah, CBD.
I saw specifically CBD. They're doing some studies on that. So who knows, man?
Wow.
I feel like most people don't know nothing. There's another Pfizer pill that crazy.
Well, I'll tell you this. I swear by oregano oil and raw garlic. I'm telling you.
Oh man.
Yo, there actually is published was it PubMed or NHCI or NCHI or whatever about the efficacy of oregano oil against COVID-19. There is published documents about it. So, but I was doing that before because I think oregano oil kills everything.
So you mean to tell me I could have just taken oregano and I didn't have to get shot? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I still took the I took the shots for different reasons.
Disclaimer.
One is kind of like
Disclaimer, yeah.
I'm here trying to think, and
Oh my
then I
God.
see urine in a pool. Like, thanks, Greg.
Not going to that church. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
good.
I'm good on that.
I'm good.
I'm good
Mhm.
on that. If only it were that easy to cure COVID, hey?
Right?
I said if only it was that easy, you know. What if they were just advising you first thing in the morning, guys? Has to be that fresh,
Yeah.
the fresh
Sorry,
stuff,
what you
and just
No,
take a shot of
I'm
that
good.
and go about your way,
No.
and you'll be good.
No, I'm
You'll
good.
be good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
good. I'm
but
okay.
yeah, I don't know. It is interesting, to be honest. The science part of me, like the science brain, I guess, in me, like it is
Anti-Jim
intriguing.
for the win.
I've taken both, but not consistently. Sorry, what was I saying? Like the science nerd in me, like I do find it intriguing that they've been able to come up with a pill that can help combat symptoms, especially for people who are more vulnerable. But again, just because, you know, these are odd times, like these aren't things that we're used to seeing in this capacity, I can understand why a lot of people are hesitant. It's just because we don't know, right? We've never seen or been a part of this much history, as someone said. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool that they have a pill. Do I think I'd stock up on the pill if it were available for me? I don't know. But
the pill is for if you catch COVID, though, right?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, what if people are like, I caught COVID. What if they got 5 COVID pills? They didn't feel like they needed to take it, and then they start selling them to people. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it will just start more issues. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm getting at. I think I'm playing devil's advocate, but that's where I'm getting at. Like, whose hands do the COVID pills eventually get to?
I mean, the amount of money you can make by selling that on the black market.
But that's what I'm saying. And then, like Tim was saying, like, they're unvaccinated individuals who are like, yo, but can I get this Pfizer pill, though? So
exactly.
It's like, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, that has been my motto, and as of late, and it's just take one day at a time. And you know, like Tim said earlier, you know, you got food, you got a roof over your head, you know, you got a job, and we still have to be thankful, you know, because things could be a lot worse. And this whole pandemic, you know, it's affected all of us in different ways and various levels. So I don't know. That's why all I can say is just one day at a time, folks, because, you know, today it might be me, tomorrow it might be you. And I don't even mean like getting infected. I just mean in general, like mentally, spiritually, emotionally, like it's definitely taken a toll on all aspects of life. So yeah, that's all I got.
We definitely do have to, the more healthy that you are, from this, like, it's highly transmissible. The more that we can do for our normal health, like to aid our departure from health, let's say that we should just make sure we do it. Like, drink water. We most of us, like, especially Black people, we definitely need to be taking supplements. Vitamin D, and vitamin D is one of those things that they say really helps with if you do catch COVID, or even the prevention of it.
Zinc as well.
Zinc, yeah. But you know what? I remember when I was just battling my chronic eczema before the meds that I'm on. Like, almost every single thing will tell you calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, zinc, coenzyme Q10. Like, anytime, and then you look at almost any sickness, and there's like, hey, you likely need to supplement with these things. These things are deficient in our diets, for various reasons.
Right.
Over processing, and the way that we get our
lack
produce.
of sunlight here in Alberta in the winter time.
I was made aware of, like, just the fact our soil is not even that good. Like, for the produce to even be nutrient rich. So even if you are eating, you know, the recommended amount of greens and this and that, it likely isn't even as rich and nutritious as it would have been. Like, unless you're specifically going organic, like you have it, and the costs and everything like that, just it's crazy, you know.
So speaking of
So basically,
things
everyone needs to
possibly,
move back to the islands and eat off the land.
that's right.
Right? Let's go. I'm ready.
I'm
Boat,
ready.
plane.
I
I'm
will.
ready,
I will
man.
buy a private jet when I win the lottery, and we will.
Take
We'll
me,
board.
Thank you.
take me.
So, talking about things possibly getting worse.
hmm
I don't know if you saw that there's like a version of iRobot being toured around the tech conventions lately.
Oh lordy.
I don't know if you saw that. I found it quite creepy. I don't know if you guys have saw it. It was all over Facebook and Instagram and the news.
I've seen a few
Um,
different ones, but explain the more recent one that you're
so the
referring
more
to.
recent one is called Ameca. It was made from a UK-based company, Engineered Arts, unveiled a human-like robot. So they unveiled it last month, and then it's just been making its rounds beginning of this year. So they also made an ask that they will pay someone £150,000 or $255,000 Canadian to use their face as for
To
the
use
robot.
what?
My thing is, my,
255,000 Canadian
my thing
to
is
use
with
your
that
face
is, why
on the
do
robot.
they need to use someone who already exists face? Why not produce a face that doesn't exist? Mind you, it may look
thought.
like someone in the world. I mean, there's almost 8 billion people
But
on the
of course,
planet.
Of course.
But why is it they want an exact replica of someone's face? Like, to me, that's just a little twisted. Like, think about characters that they make for a movie or animation. Like, why not
Mhm.
create a face? Why is it you want an exact replica of someone who, like, a real, live, breathing human being?
Because then what? I guess because then you can really see you can really see how accurate it is if it's
But it could be
designed off
accurate.
somebody
Okay.
else.
Why don't they do this then? If you have 5 people who say yes, bring on the money, you can use my face. Why not take the blue eyes from one person, the big lips from another person, the pointy
has a
nose
point.
from another person,
She has a
and
point.
create something new? Why do you want the exact make?
Okay,
of
why
someone's
do
face?
you
Like,
think
why
they
don't
do?
pick well, we'll be here all night.
I'm here. I'm
How
here.
about
I'm
we
here
ask
under
our
objection.
viewers? How about we ask the viewers why they think they want someone's exact face? Because honestly, why don't they pick, I don't know, Captain America and Thor and iRobot and put their features together and make one face? Like, why wouldn't they pick, Danny's eyes, my ears,
Kardashian's nose.
just so that it's different and it doesn't look exactly like someone who exists. Then this robot one day decides to go do some ish, and then they think it's me.
Right?
Then
That's
they
what I
wanna
was
lock me
saying.
up.
That's what I was
Nah.
saying.
I don't know about all that.
Good evening, Jane Doe. Welcome, welcome.
I don't know
But
about
yeah,
all that.
that was my thought. They go rob a bank, and now I'm in jail for something I didn't do.
Okay. And then I'm like trying to convince them it was the robot. It was a Mecca. It wasn't me. Like,
Exactly.
yeah. Alrighty.
But would you do it if they gave you quarter
If
of a
the
million
price
dollars?
is right? Nah, not my face. Not my face.
Not for $250,000?
Nah, man. My
Yeah,
face.
look how quiet her voice got there.
Nah, you're talking $250,000. Don't get me wrong, that's money. You know what I mean?
But it's not enough. It's not
That's
enough.
money, but not for my face though.
You're gonna have to give me at least 20 mil. At least 20 mil.
Think about it. Think about this though. The way that technology has evolved, I open up my phone. Well, with COVID now, it's a little hard. Most times you got to punch in your code now because you're wearing a mask half the day. But most phones now have Face ID technology. I give these people permission to use my face for this robot. Lord knows what the robot is going to be getting up to. And then what? Then you can go unlock my phone or unlock people's phones or open up vaults and stuff with people's faces. Like, you got to think about this. Like, what if I'm like, you know what? I got these student loans I want to pay off. You don't really think about it. You're like, yeah, give me this quick $250,000. Then down the road, I don't know, you become more established in life, or your face is tied to more things. Like, I don't know, let's say you're some big CEO and you have this fancy building and you can only get into your office with your face ID. But these people now have your face from a decade ago. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's where my mind goes.
Listen, Kiki,
Like,
everywhere has your face right now.
well, no, touche. I get that. I get that. But for the most part,
Imagine the
it's
plausible deniability.
You're doubling up by giving these people your face. That's just more.
But imagine the plausible deniability when you know there's a robot out there. It's like I go and I box somebody. I wasn't there. It wasn't me. It was the robot. Like, yo, you're good to go.
But here's the thing, though. I was gonna say the robot's chipped and I'm not, but with my cell phone and everything else, they'll already know where I'm at. Anyways, they just ping it off a tower. But you get what I'm saying? Look, I get what you're saying. There's always gonna be like a counterpart to it.
Like, there's cameras everywhere.
Point blank, period. They ain't getting my face for no robot.
Right now, Kiki. Right now, there's probably somebody on Instagram using your face.
No.
Her Instagram is private, so no one.
Private. So talk to those whose profiles are not private.
Really though, Instagram privacy really is that.
No. Now listen to me. Unless they're taking that little bubble picture and scanning my face from there. By all means. Oh, Lord. But you guys post up and and your stuff's all public. But I mean, the thing is, too, we are entertainers, and I always think about this. Right, I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent here. We're entertainers, and I'm like, think about, all the people whose cell phones and social medias your face is on.
Yep.
When you perform at an event.
That's a part of what I'm saying.
Oh no, I got that.
If you go on stage doing things, more people know you than you know.
Yes, exactly. I always think of that randomly, like when you're performing somewhere and you're up front or you're doing something and everyone has their cell phones out, and I'm just like, yo, just think about the places that your face has been. You've never even touched. My feet have never touched that place, and I'm there.
Did you privatize
people all over the world?
Did you privatize your face on Trincan's IG and Facebook? Is your face private on there or?
Okay.
But the funny thing is, you know what? We should look into that because.
My God! So we're gonna have a blur for Kiki. Okay.
But no, think about it.
Oh,
think about it. When you volunteer at certain places and certain establishments, you have to give consent. Like you have to sign.
Yes.
Say, hey, you can use my
image
for this image for yada yada yada. You can publish me like if you got a yada yada yada. Trinca, we might have to look into some things.
My God.
I'm just kidding.
But hold on. On that note, does that apply to everyone that's taking video?
Archives.
Does that apply to everyone that's taking video of you? Like my dad used to say, you're taking a video of me, it's $100.
Well, see, Taney says you're performing in public spaces.
Thank you.
Exactly.
And all Danny needs to do is a shout out. Take it away, Kiki. Now they know.
Well, that's just it.
There's some Quasimodo dude with his camera out.
FBI.
You go around and you see, and people are like, oh, I've seen you before. I know you. And I'm like, no, you don't. But then it's like, wait, let me think back. And then that's when I'm like, maybe you saw me performing somewhere. Because you know what I mean?
100.
You guys know, like,
I get that a lot.
I usually keep to myself. But then somebody, yo, I know you. First of all, you don't know me.
You keep to yourself
on
the stage.
I've seen you. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even front and be like, nah, because maybe you have seen me somewhere.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So,
like, you can be as super private as you want. As soon as you get, as soon as you're on the stage, like in that one moment, it's just like it undoes all the privacy in that one moment.
With you, I'll be honest.
And Jane Doe hit the nail on the head.
that has always been one of my dilemmas, I guess, about doing more, I guess you could say, in terms of entertainment or putting myself out there. Because a lot of times it's like, yo, I'd love to, like share certain things and do certain things, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, I kind of like the comfort of what I got going on now. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys have ever thought like that, but you guys are
No.
No.
No, I get it. And you guys are in different stages of where you guys are in terms of like entertainment and stuff. But like sometimes I'm like, yo, I want to do this, or I want to sing more, I want to do that. And then I'm like, at the same time, like, yo, I don't want to. Not saying I'm gonna be Michael Jackson or anything, but you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
I get.
But yeah. Anyways, we'll see.
Yeah, James.
Yeah, you still want your privacy, but
Jane
it's with the entertainment.
Jane Doe's
exactly.
Jane Doe's on it tonight. I love it.
She worded it perfectly, because I think it would be considered from a promotion. Yo, hey, yo, yeah, you guys gotta speak for yourselves when you talk about fet photos. If you
she is in none.
That's what I'm saying. When it comes to fets, though, not really. Y'all don't really see me in the fet photos like that.
No, you don't.
I'm gonna be
looking up. But you know what? I was even thinking back to like when you'd go clubbing and you're in the back. Let's say you're in the back, holding your corner, and you're just back there doing your thing, vibing.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh, I'm staying low.
Making the party lame. Okay, yeah, go on.
Someone just got to do this with their phone.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in there, and you don't even know. That's what I'm saying, man. And then someone sends a picture, and then someone's like, yo, who's that? Who's that in the back? Like, you don't know. You don't know. You know what I'm saying?
So, getting back to our iRobot thing.
Yeah, I can pull you up. Promise.
Bam!
Dang, why you put me on blast like that? I'm not saying I'm not out there, but probably just not as much as some other people. That's it. That's all. And that may change
agree with that.
as time goes on. You don't know.
Yeah,
it will change.
And then,
2020
but then watch this. Here's the thing.
And Kiki's gonna be. Nah, I'm just kidding.
I was looking at this. Yo, there are levels, right? There's the person who really, truly goes nowhere. They're like down here. You know what? Like when you perform or when you go out to like places where they're taking pictures and there's promotion, like you're so far away from the truly private person.
Right.
Like so far away.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like if you don't go to church, you don't see my mom. You don't know who she is. You don't know what she looks like. You know what I mean? That's private.
Yeah.
But even nowadays, you see posts going viral in the church. Nobody's safe.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. Now
nobody's safe, man.
No, but that's the thing now. No,
even
but yeah,
like,
exactly, because now every service runs live. Like every service runs live.
Saying, and then it pans on the crowd.
Pans on, yeah, man, yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. I think it's, yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that no matter what, iRobot can get your face.
Well, actually, it's funny, and
that was my point.
Example. I'm gonna use this as an example. I'm gonna kind of put my mom on blast, but not really. It's funny though.
Okay.
She'll talk to my grandfather who lives back in the Caribbean. Sometimes she'll watch the church service, and then she'll talk to him, and she'll be like, "Oh, I saw you today," and he'll be like, "What do you mean you saw me?" Poor man sounds so worried and concerned. Like, "What do you mean you saw me?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I saw you at church." Why? Because it's posted live.
Yeah, right.
I think that's so funny. But you guys are absolutely right. I mean, it's the world we live in now, and as much as we think we're private,
we're not.
Yeah.
And
anyone who has any sort of smart device in their home knows you're not really, because God forbid, we were to go missing, they could ping your phone and say, "Oh, this was the last place she was at."
Exactly.
So, and what if I were to go missing and the last place my phone was pinged, I didn't tell anyone I was there. I didn't want anyone to know I was there.
Then when I find you, I'll have questions for you. Be like, excuse me, why were you at this location? What was your reason?
Man, oh man.
Oh man. So when you guys are in friendships or relationships, do you think when you're talking, they're actively listening to you?
Repeat that.
When you guys are in your friendships or relationships
Mm-hmm.
and you're having a good conversation,
Mm-hmm.
do you think they're actively listening to you, or do you think they're listening just to respond?
I think it depends on
Depends
who you're
who.
talking to. Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's all in the
And
eyes, you know what I mean? And like
On the phone.
their responses, like are they
why is
reaching
your
out and
voice getting
saying,
all soft?
hey,
Why are we why are
I
we
Why do
don't
we gotta,
know.
I think we gotta define active listening though.
Okay, first, let's ask her this. And
Okay.
what is active listening to you, Danny? Like
Active
if
listening.
you're having a conversation with someone, what
Mhm.
is active, like whether you're the person telling them something or you're the person listening, what do you consider active listening? Like what are you doing if you're actively listening to someone? Maybe
I'm
that.
listening to their problem, like literally taking it in,
But
digesting
how are
it.
you showing that?
What do you mean? I am showing it by looking into your eyes, looking at your body, your body language. I am. It's all in your
Okay.
persona. Whereas if
I
I
guess,
if
yeah.
it's just like listening to respond, I'll be like,
Like looking over there.
but I'm already
Nothing
like, I
you
hear
guys
your
see.
problem, but I'm just
Mhm.
like, yeah, I don't think you should do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas
No, I get what
actively
you're
listening,
saying.
when I'm
The thing
actively
is,
listening, I'm giving you like a proper response.
Active listening usually incorporates um, sending out what's the word? You're sending out cues that you're following along.
Yeah.
right.
Like when
Like
someone's
you're
actively
nodding.
listening, you don't have to be like, "Are you there?"
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
but there's
Yeah.
people who are good at faking
Or
actively
you can
listening.
see the
They're like, "Yeah."
the wheels turning. Or you can see their pupils dilate. I don't know. Like, when you tell someone something, you can tell they're actively listening. Like, their eyes will open up big. Like, if you tell them, like, good news or something shocking or, you know what I mean? But if you tell someone something, they're just kind of there, like that's just going over their head. You know what I mean? I don't know. Tanya says
Yeah.
it's receptors. Eye
She's
contact,
right.
repeating what was last said, nodding. I think for me,
That
like,
is
eye
that
contact is
is
a big thing.
that is. But again, so much of our communication is not in person anymore.
Yes, and
You
people
know,
are losing a
Very
lot
true.
of those cues. Like, people, the thing is too with COVID, and I was having this conversation. Well, I've been having this conversation since the pandemic started. Is that
Mhm.
people are like losing how to socially interact with others. I mean, it was already happening because of social media and
Yeah.
devices, but it's like tenfold now.
yeah.
And based on what I'm hearing, you're seeing that a lot more in like younger people. Why? Because I
Definitely.
guess they're on social media more. And now school as well is online so much. So they're
Mhm.
losing a lot of like their social interaction skills, which I think is pretty sad.
It's very sad.
Tanya, parents are excellent at faking active listening.
Yep.
Yeah.
My
Here's the
boys,
thing.
my boys called me out on it the other day.
Now, for I guess the second part to that question in regards to listening to respond,
Mm-hmm.
like just it's like I find that some people almost filter, and they're looking for they're listening to keywords, and they respond based on what they think you're saying, not what you're actually saying. And that is something that's also
Mm.
that's something that's also
Yes, you know
problematic.
that. Yes, I agree
Very
because,
problematic because they could be actively listening, like, yeah, that's right.
but
But
they're
when they come
not
in and when they say
perceiving it.
something, it is not. They wouldn't get the essence of what you were saying because they heard
Yes.
something that triggered
Mm-hmm.
something, and sometimes it could just be a bad habit. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Yeah, it's not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're not really listening to you, but whatever they thought you were saying triggered something that they now want to say, and then sometimes that can just derail a conversation. And if
Mm-hmm.
somebody was now, if somebody was trying to bring out a point that was important to them, and a situation or something that mattered to them, and and you
You kind
got
of like
triggered and
blow it
started
off,
bringing
kind
up
of thing.
something about yourself. Now that person feels away. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then again, and conversations can get absolutely derailed like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, conversations can go 0 to 100 real quick in
Real
terms
quick.
of perception. You're absolutely right. I didn't really think about it like that, Tim, but you're right, because sometimes you're saying something and someone perceives it a different way, and then it's like, wait, hold up, that's not what I meant.
That's
That's
not like
not what I meant.
no.
You know what and then you're like trying to dig yourself out of a hole just because you said something and someone interpreted it the wrong way. So never thought of it like that.
There is it's called they're called the logical fallacies, right? These are and this usually they're the worst in arguments. It's the worst if you're already having an argument. Because and there's some people who do this as a tactic, and then some people who do this as because it's a really bad habit. And then so it's called the straw man. It's the straw man fallacy. So if somebody says something and that triggers something, and then now you start arguing what you think they said, that's called the straw man, because that's not that's not the actual topic. And then so the way to deal with it is what you said, Kiki. That's not what I said. And then you have to backtrack. What happens sometimes in conversations when you're already amped up, you start arguing a point you didn't make.
Right.
And you start trying to dig yourself out of a hole you didn't dig, or you didn't, you didn't jump into. And then now the thing is gone like way off the rails.
And I think it's important for that realization to be there. You know what I mean? Instead of getting amped up, even though, like you said, it could be triggering, take that step back and be like, you know what, this isn't even what I meant. So why would I even argue about it in the first place? Like, just take that quick moment to just, clear things up and say, hey, that's not what I meant. You took it the wrong way, or you perceived it the wrong way. So yeah, I definitely think the realization factor is a big part too. Because I think actively responding and actively listening, it needs to go both ways, even if you're the person who's initially starting up the conversation, right? Just so that the conversation isn't derailed, like you mentioned. So yeah. But it's definitely not just like a black and white thing. Like,
no, it isn't.
And everyone's different, because you could be, and again, it depends on who you're telling it to, because if you're telling your spouse versus your friend versus, you know what I mean, different reactions will trigger you differently. Like, if it's someone who's just like, oh, you're telling somebody something at work and they don't really react to it the way that you'd like them to or whatever, you might just be like, meh, whatever. But then you come home and you tell your mom or your husband or whatever, you know what I mean? And then they're like, meh, then you're going to feel some type of way. So it definitely depends on levels of the relationship.
No, and as you say that, thank you for saying that, because this is something that I know I've been guilty of. Like, you give the person at work a blie when they do that, but because of the relationship and the expectation that you put on somebody else, you don't give them that blie. And that's like going back to what Tania said. Like, you're gonna be like, you almost move like it was deliberate, right? Because you expect so much of that person, because they know you, or they should know you. You should know how I was going to react. You should know that I didn't mean that. But whereas the person that works like, nah, I didn't say that, and you just correct them and move on.
And then sometimes too, to prevent the arguments, the person who's now taking the heat for not reacting the way that person wanted to, sometimes can say, hey, I understand why you feel that way, is because we are so close. You expected, like, but the thing is, we don't always think about it like that in the moment. No, like an hour after, you'd sit down and you'd replay the conversation in your head, and you're like, yo, like, how did things go so left just now? Like, we were cool, everything was cool, and then within a split second, we're like yelling at each other, or something went totally wrong in the conversation. But then we don't usually notice those things, or we don't usually get those realizations until after words when you're kind of reflecting on the conversation. If only we could realize those things a little sooner, you know, in present time, you know, it would help a lot of things, but we are still human. You know what I mean? We're not robots.
In my old age,
yet.
In my old age, something that I've learned, if somebody has brought something up to me, this is not my opportunity to bring something up to them
from the past, right?
You know, it depends on who the person is, how well you know that person. Because some people wouldn't mind it. Some people would understand what you're doing. And then there's just some people who aren't for that at all. They're just like, yo, like some people that is triggering, like, why are you bringing this up when it should be about me?
But my thing is this, if you bring it up, that until that situation has been, and their, whatever they were feeling has been dealt with.
Right.
You know, the whole like tit for tat is not good business. Like it's not good business because now we have to be in control of our triggers. Right. Like we are responsible for our triggers. So now going back to the listening. So if I'm not listening, or if I've been triggered and now I'm not listening to what they're saying and I'm going off on my tangent, and then so I'm listening to respond. And as soon as they give me a space, I'm bringing up, well, you're telling me about this. You did this so and so ago. It's like, wait a minute. If you didn't bring that up so and so ago, why are you bringing it up now? If you're bringing it up now, that's just because it's tit for tat.
Yeah.
And it's not about winning. It's about understanding. You know what I mean? Like if you. Like we should bring things up when they affect us and not when somebody else is affected. Because if they're already in their feelings, or if they're already, you know,
adding more
about something, you just go and you add something else, that thing's going well and off the rails.
And some people know that though and recognize that though, and that's why they do it. But that's a whole other topic.
Sure. Yeah. What happened to the person tells me, well, I'm screwed, that's me.
Again, I think it depends on your relationship with the person, because if you know the person who's coming to you or talking to you is a chatterbox, but you love them and you know that's just them, then whatever, you're gonna listen to them. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
I don't know. At least that's the type of person
listen to you, Tim.
Oh yeah.
No, but Tim, we do have like seriously deep conversations.
That's right.
So
and you know what? But it works.
I hear an raga. Oh my god!
You know what? Like one of the things that I was that guy that never could. You know when someone says, "Yo, I can't talk about this right now." Oh my god, I could not. I like.
Then you'd like get in your feels and be like, "Yo,
what do you mean you don't want to talk about it? You don't want to."
Yeah.
Oh my god! But like, that was, you know, that for me that was maturation and just sitting down and just like I'm a pretty good listener, but you know, listening even when you don't agree. Like listening all the way through, and
you want to say something,
and taking the time to actually not be self-righteous and search for where like misunderstandings are okay. Like it's okay that it is okay for me to even like it's okay for me to get it wrong, but then acknowledge it and then actually listen and talk about what I found though sometimes with men and women, like some people really are not comfortable speaking their truth, you know, and they dance around it and they, you know, people don't want conflict, right? But that, you know, that Gottman, it's really interesting stuff. That Gottman couple study that they did where they had these couples over many years and they wired them up. And they were just saying like the couples they literally could predict that their relationships were going to fail. It wasn't about big arguments, but it was just this there was a tenseness. That was there. This elevated level like a rubber band was about to snap. Even though it seemed calm on the outside, they were wired up.
But their bodies were showing something
Yeah, it's
different.
because
Yeah.
there's so much things from years that they weren't saying to each other,
Addressing.
right?
Yeah.
And I really believe that, like, while we should tell the truth, you got to like tell the truth, at least don't lie. That's like I think it's rule number 1 in the 12 rules for life. Tell the truth or at least don't lie. But we also have to prep the environment for the truth. And I learned that with my kids. I can want them to tell me the truth all day. But if I'm standing there with all how much of me, and I'm standing there and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, sure, I want the truth, but do I look ready for that person? Am I making them feel safe to tell their truth?
Right.
And then and so many years of that, good-mannered people that actually love one another, friends that actually care about one another, they don't feel safe.
Yeah.
No, they don't feel safe to speak their truth. And so as much as we want people to tell the truth, we also have to remember to create an environment where the truth is, and so that happens in our conversations too. You know what I mean? And if when people know they feel listened to, they'll speak it out. And then the thing that you're going to say back, hopefully, is going to be coming from a truthful, honest place. And I think that's what everybody needs that. Like everybody needs that. There's whole industry of mental health professionals and counselors and all that, literally to do just that. And we could do that with all the people we know
amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Very well said, Tim.
Very
well look
said.
at that.
And on
And
that
Tanya
note,
said, hold
Whoa.
on. This is interesting.
That's really the honestly, you had to come with that.
Just at the end, but I have to say
You
it. I have to
threw
say
something at the
Tanya
water.
said, I don't have the capacity to create that space for everyone, though. And whoo, yes, that just like opened the floodgates right there. Especially
okay.
as an empath, you know what I mean? Like, whoo, yeah, that's tough. We might gotta touch on that.
Well, listen, okay, yo, like, all right.
Woo, that might have to be a part 2.
That might have to be really,
that might have to be a part
2. The whole empath thing.
Yes.
The whole empath thing,
we
and
can go off on like
yeah.
a lot of different paths by just that comment alone. But I love that you said that, Tanya, because, whoo, yeah. Okay, guys, take notes next week.
Next week, open talk.
We'll kick off the convo with that comment.
Yo, you know that meme where there's where's the dryer and then someone throws a brick in? Have you seen that? Or the GIF?
Think so.
It's the caption is, it's basically like telling someone to relax.
Tanya,
and basically there's like a spinning and they throw a brick in and the thing just starts, I think it's this washing machine and it's in spin cycle and they throw a brick in there and the thing just goes. That was.
I gotta look that up. I don't think I've seen that one.
That was the brick.
The brick, like a brick through the window.
No man, that was that, because that spawns a. No, it's like, how do you define everybody? Like you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
again, there's different levels to this. Really we'll leave it at that for now.
Allow. Okay, listen. Do I want my neighbor to come over to me and just be like, you know what, Tim? I see you from my window, and you know what? And then I'm gonna stand there and let them give me a piece of their mind. Like, yo, listen.
No, here's the thing, though. There are some
keep your shit to yourself.
There are some people who struggle with that, though. Like, they'll have someone come, it could be a stranger, and just start spilling their whole life story, and they don't know how to cut the conversation short or say, you know what, I don't have the time nor the capacity to listen. Like, there are some people who struggle with that, who don't know. So that's what I'm saying. This is a whole other conversation here.
It is.
Yeah. There are some people who struggle with that. And there definitely needs to be balance because there's people on different ends of the spectrum. There's some people you go to and they want none of it. They don't want, it ain't about them. They don't want to hear it. And then there's other people who would listen to the entire Bible, like if you let, like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
okay,
that's
like,
good
okay.
talk, though.
So here's my thing with that. If okay, there's some people who will talk to a fire hydrant if they had the chance. Okay, they'll talk to anybody.
That is
They
true.
don't. They don't have a filter, and they'll just. But let's not talk about them and put it back on you. If this happens to you a lot,
Mhm.
that is saying something
Sorry.
about the energy.
But that's what I'm saying. Some people are like sponges, but I think what Tanya was getting at is that sometimes it can be too much. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Because
Yeah.
we are energetic beings, you know, and just like you said, sometimes people just give off that sort of energy. People
But
just
that might be your gift, and if it's this is what I'm saying, and this is the thing. Maybe we could deal with it next week. But
Yeah.
if that is your gift, that means not everybody has it, and if not everybody has it, that means your gift is needed in
it
times.
is, yes,
And
it is.
Yeah.
then you know what? And then you know what? The other thing is that means if you know that is a gift of yours, you might have to take care of yourself differently.
Mhm.
I
You might have to
agree.
take care of yourself
I agree.
differently so that
'Cause you
gift can flourish and be
You can't
used.
pour from an empty cup, but I totally get where Tanya's coming from.
I get it. I get it too.
Yeah, I totally get that. Okay,
Yeah.
guys.
Anyhow,
But you know what? We should definitely tie in, and this is a topic you love to talk about, Tim. It's personalities and personality traits. That's something we can tie into this conversation as
Right.
well, because
Yeah,
you know
for sure.
there's certain personalities, you know, that would be, I guess you could say, more inclined to listening to people versus others. So I said we should tie that in too. And why some people, I don't want to say trapped, but why some people give off that type of energy versus others. So, yeah. Tanya, it should not drain you.
what?
I get
Okay.
that.
That was a little much of a reaction. That's like that's like Michael Jordan was
draining.
never tired after a basketball game. He was the best in the world. He still had to
No,
know
draining.
Tom Brady's still playing because he
What did you-
knows how to
what-
use his gift.
What did you
You know what I
say,
mean?
Danny?
No, I said it's still draining.
No,
It
I
is
get. I know. I
draining.
totally get what she's saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We should continue the conversation.
All right, okay. I'm
Next
gonna just chill. This is a good one. Like this is a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. And see, Jane said some people just take advantage when they know how you are.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Facts.
But
Yeah.
but here's the
I
thing,
totally
though.
get that.
Okay, now so you're gonna be given a gift, and then you know what I mean, and you have the mind. People come and they unload on you. I'm sure there's discernment in there. I'm sure
yo,
that
that's
there
like-
is feeling. You know what I'm saying?
But Tim, that's like saying, you know, you're the best plumber. You know, you're the best plumber in town. You know what I mean? And everyone keeps coming to you. Like, just because you're the best plumber doesn't mean that people got to be ringing your phone 24. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, yes, you have the gift. And it's not that you're not utilizing your gift.
That was a great analogy, Kiki.
But that's
That
what
was
I'm
really
you
good.
know, but
That was
that's what
really
I'm saying.
good.
It's like, you're the best plumber in town, but Lord, like, you know, this guy.
You can't catch a break. Yeah.
Right, he's a plumber too. You know,
Yeah.
like go give John some business. You know, and
I
it's
got
not
you
that
there.
I'm
I
not,
got you there.
it's
Yep,
not
you
that
got
I'm
me
not
there. Yep.
thankful that I'm an excellent plumber and that I'm good at what I do, but sometimes I need to take vacation. I got to use up my vacation days. You feel me? So, anyways,
That's the touchdown. That's good.
I think that's what is being said. So,
But
but
I'm-
anyways,
Yeah. Okay. Let's not beat it up to the.
we'll get
right.
back. We'll get back to this one. I
Part
like
two.
this topic. Yes.
Open talk, part 2.
Well,
So
guys,
should we
that
call
was
it?
fun.
Should we call it?
Yeah, man.
Should we call it open talk? What are your boundaries?
Ooh.
That's too vague. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll
Okay,
discuss
all right.
and we'll make a post. But thank you so
All
much,
right.
guys. Conversation was really active
dope.
tonight.
Very active. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the new viewers. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe on our YouTube page because we're also live on YouTube as well.
Yeah. And you can go check out all our episodes.
All our past episodes. You can comment, but not live. Again, have a great night. Enjoy your week. Well, the rest of the week, weekend. Stay safe. If you're in Alberta, stay warm.
Yes. Oh man, this weather.
All right, thanks for joining, everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
See you
Have a
guys
good night,
later.
everyone. Bye.